Heading the late night news, a 6-year-old doused with petrol and set alight in a Cairns schoolyard.
In a state of shock, including the police and the fire brigade who have attended.
Prime Minister Howard refuses to sack his Assistant Treasurer over a conflict of interest. And the chase for Skase may not yet be over.
The Late Night News with Sandra Sully.
Good evening. First tonight, a 26-year-old South Australian man has been charged with murder, attempted murder, after allegedly pouring petrol over a 6-year-old boy and setting him alight. The attack happened in front of a group of children at a Cairns school. The boy is tonight in hospital, suffering serious burns.
Little Dandamara O'Shane is fighting for his young life in a Brisbane hospital tonight. Hours earlier, he'd been eating lunch with friends in the schoolyard when a man allegedly walked up to him, pouring petrol over him and setting him alight in front of other children. It's alleged the 26-year-old man then walked to a nearby traffic police officer and told him what had happened.
From my own observations of what I saw of the child who received the burns to nearly all of his body, from what I could see.
The headmaster and a teacher fought to put out the flames with their bare hands. The headmaster is being treated at Cairns Base Hospital. The attack has horrified the school community.
Everyone's in a state of shock, including the police and the fire brigade who have attended. It's a rather callous act that has been perpetrated here.
Police found a petrol can and a copy of a right-wing magazine in a bag dumped in the schoolyard. A South Australian man believed to have been in Cairns only a week has been charged with 1 count of attempted murder. Late today, it was revealed the boy is the nephew of both Aboriginal Magistrate Pat O'Shane and ATSIC Commissioner Terry O'Shane. The family doesn't believe the attack was politically motivated.
Certainly there are people like that in the community, but I think that the person was just chosen as a victim at random.
Dandamara's mother flew with her son by charter plane to Brisbane tonight. He'll be treated at the Royal Children's Hospital for burns to 60% of his body. Holly Reynolds, 10 News.
Ahead in tonight's late night news, more arrests in the war against overhead cabling. Melbourne TV sporting identity Sam Newman to be charged with drink driving. And Paula Yates and Bob Geldof bury the hatchet. In Sydney, a clash over cabling for Optus television has led to several people being arrested, among them local councillors. Dozens of residents confronted Optus workers rolling out the cables in Manly on Sydney's northern beaches. When police arrived to clear the way, scuffles broke out. Several people, including 2 councillors, were bundled into police vehicles.
What do we want? Down under. When do we want it? Now.
As soon as police ended the blockade, the rollout continued after being delayed for about 2 hours. Stay with us. Still to come tonight, Friday's forecast. The motor show rolls into town again, and Tim Webster with Sports Tonight.
Sandra, coming up shortly, why Parramatta and St George chose to stay with the ARL. Greg Norman prepares for the Dunhill Cup, and Shane Heal set to take on basketball's big time.
Experience, that's inexperience. He should know better than that.
And now for a look at today's weather. There were showers and haze in Queensland. Sydney was cloudy but a very warm 30 degrees today. Melbourne also cloudy and 27, hazy in Hobart. Adelaide had some rain and Perth was 17 degrees. There's some patchy cloud over inland New South Wales, but the main feature is the frontal band extending from Western Australia into the Bight, bringing very cold air. A frontal system will move through the southeast during the day with a trough extending across the country to a low in the northwest corner. So for tomorrow, Brisbane can look forward to a fine day and a top of 25 degrees. Sydney's in for a warm one, a top of 31, although a late change is expected. Melbourne will be wet and windy and 24 degrees. Hobart can expect some late rain and a top of 21. Showers in store for Adelaide, but a fine day forecast for Perth and 19 degrees. Car buffs from around Australia have begun rolling into Sydney for the annual International Motor Show. As usual, there are cars of all shapes and sizes, but it's the latest inventions on 4 wheels that are attracting the crowds. That's the news to this minute. 10 News will be back tomorrow at 11:30 and first at 5. But right now it's time for Sports Tonight with Tim Webster. I'm Sandra Sully. Thanks for your company tonight. See you tomorrow. Good night.